I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share it with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars ain't...
What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's get into Monday Night Raw from March the 2nd, 2026. Raw was boring and bland. However, there were a couple of okay things that took place on the show. I really dug Roman Reigns and CM Punk. That was a pretty good closing segment. And I enjoyed Penta winning the Intercontinental Championship. So I enjoyed those two things. And that's kind of where we'll start. And then from there, we'll get into the rest of the show and what happened. So the closing segment of the evening, Roman Reigns came out. He told Indianapolis to acknowledge him. Then CM Punk comes out. So, CM Punk acknowledges Roman Reigns, but he hopes that isn't all that Roman is here to do. CM Punk hopes that they're not wasting one of Roman's dates on that. That could have been a tweet. So, Roman says that his tweet hurt CM Punk. Punk seems a little sensitive. For a champion, he's got thin skin. CM Punk says Roman's tweet didn't hurt his feelings. CM Punk doesn't get mad and hold grudges about things people say about him on podcasts. Roman's tweet was accurate because he's tired. Punk says it's a good thing he's got bags under his eyes because he's got 7 weeks to carry Roman's bullshit all the way to WrestleMania. That was a nice line there. CM Punk then does his usual shtick about, is it great to be alive on a Monday Night Raw or what? So, CM Punk says that Indianapolis has history. This is where the Shield debuted, and this is where CM Punk brought Roman to the dance. Roman then corrects CM Punk, says that's speaking about the other two, not him. CM Punk says he didn't pick Roman Reigns, but Reigns picked him. Now they're heading into the main event at WrestleMania. And if you ask Indianapolis, CM Punk's already won. The last time they're face-to-face in a ring, Roman told Punk he hated him. Punk has him right where he wants him. CM Punk made Roman an emotional lady. CM Punk is in Roman Reigns' empty head and under his skin because Roman Reigns' skin is translucent. CM Punk can see right through him. Roman says Punk is right. He does hate CM Punk. If Punk didn't have the title, Punk would be irrelevant to Roman. Punk wouldn't exist or be on his radar. They brought Punk back to entertain the 30 and 40-year-old version to live with their mom and dad. They brought Punk back to sell a few t-shirts and draw a house in Chicago. They didn't bring him back to be champion. That's too much responsibility for CM Punk. That's above his pay grade. They don't trust CM Punk because he's a liar and he's lied to all the people. CM Punk has people thinking he's having a good time here, and there's a locker room, and he's a locker room veteran and leader. CM Punk can lie about loving all the tours and about hanging out with Roman's cousins. Still, they tell Roman about all of Punk's bitching and moaning. Punk isn't fit to be champion. You're not CM Punk. You're just a punk-ass bitch. I love that. That was great there. So Roman says at WrestleMania, this backup plan ends when Roman wins the title. He'll put CM Punk on one of those John Cena retirement tours. They'll max him out and make as much money as they can. Next, he'll send CM Punk to the NXT to teach the next generation how to do what they do. Then CM Punk will send them up to Roman, and the tribal chief will smash them all. So Roman then goes to walk away. CM Punk says, you just said a bunch of shit, and now we're going to cover it. So he then makes fun of Roman Reigns. Punk says he loves moments like this because it illustrates Roman's entire career. Punk is the champ. Reigns is in the main event of WrestleMania, not just because he won the Royal Rumble, but because CM Punk is the main event. And Punk is on Netflix. This is his show. Punk says Roman's all alone and can't get things done when he's by himself. Reigns can hate him all he wants. Punk doesn't care, even if he loves him. But Punk won't let Roman disrespect him. Roman thinks that he's going to retire CM Punk, but now he just made the list, mentioning Chris Jericho, basically. Roman went from getting beaten at WrestleMania. CM Punk says he's going to bury him. Punk says, you won't be alone anymore because I'm going to bury you next to your father. And then that was all she wrote there. So Punk storms off, and then Roman looks pissed off. And then that was it. So good stuff there. I liked it. Really decent little promo work between the two. Really good stuff there. I was like, damn. So this is solid. I do like this. I like where this is going. And really good way to end the show. Really good way to end the show. All right, cool. Good stuff there. Really, really good stuff. Can't wait to see what happens next, honestly. Roman was not advertised for next week's show. I don't think he was advertised. He probably will, he'll definitely respond to CM Punk for saying that. So that should be interesting there. Moving on. So we officially kicked the show off with The Vision. They just spelled a bunch of nonsense and all that stuff and everything else. And Paul Heyman said that he's sick of Seth Rollins and all that jazz and everything. And they all make fun of Seth Rollins, yada, yada, yada. Basically, Adam Pearce comes out to try to restore some order and everything. So then basically Seth Rollins' mask men, they show up. His decoys, they show up. It's like 3 or 4 of them that show up. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they chase after them. Then this leaves Paul Heyman all alone by himself. So Seth Rollins sneaks in. He takes off the mask. He hits Paul Heyman with a chair and does a curb stomp. And that was the end of the segment. Okay, that's fine there. Who really cares? I don't give a damn about the Vision, if we're being honest. Then Paul Heyman, he's getting help backstage from the EMTs and all that. And he's bleeding profusely from his nose. Okay. So Logan Paul and Austin Theory, they attempt to check on Paul Heyman. So Austin Theory gets in the ambulance and leaves. He closes the door. So Austin Theory goes over to an SUV. And then he's jumped by Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso beats him up. And then LA Knight, he's revealed to be the driver of the ambulance. And he says, don't worry, boys. I'll make sure he gets the help he needs. Okay, that's fine there. So this is setting up the Usos and the Vision at Mania for the tag team titles. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Do I care? No, not really. Moving on, this leads us into the first match of the night. Gunther defeats Dragon Lee. Gunther, before the match got started, was jumped by Dragon Lee, which is pretty cool. And then Gunther ended up putting Dragon Lee to sleep. So that's fine. And he ended up unmasking Dragon Lee. Okay, that's cool. So, cool stuff there. I like that. Good stuff. Moving on, this leads us into Asuka. She's pissed off at Kairi Sane. She's yelling at her like a banshee. She's furious that Kairi Sane didn't qualify for the match to help her. So Kairi's crying, and then Asuka grabs her by her throat and shoves her. So AJ Lee, she shows up. She sees Kairi Sane, who's staring into the distance, unblinking. Lee asks if she needs help, but Kairi Sane is unresponsive. So then Asuka screams like a banshee to Kairi, and then Kairi Sane walks up. Okay, that's fine. Who really cares, though? But, whatever. Moving on, this leads us into AJ Lee. She puts over Becky Lynch and everything. She says she's not entirely sure how they got there and everything. AJ came back to WWE to purely snatch the hair off of Becky's pretty little head, and somehow she managed to snatch the title from her as well. She wasn't sure if she was able to go. She said they remembered AJ when some people would just wish that they would forget. They believed that she would fight the very best. This is exactly what Becky Lynch is, the very best. So she continues to put over Becky Lynch and all that jazz. So she said a couple weeks ago, she mentioned there are some women she wanted to get her hands on, and now that she's a champion, she knows there's some women that want to get their hands on her. So if any of the women want a shot at their favorite wrestler, come at her. AJ says next time next time she stands in this ring, she'll be defending the women's Intercontinental Championship. Okay, that's fine. So whatever, who really cares about this shit? I'm not, all that excited about it. Moving on, this leads us into the original Grande Americano. He's talking to Penta about Dominik Mysterio. Penta says Grande Americano knows him. So the other Americanos, they show up and they confront the original Grande Americano. So whatever, and he basically wants Chad Gable basically wants a shot at one of the guys. I don't care about any of this shit. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Moving on. This leads us into a vignette by Liv Morgan, who says Stephanie Vacker doesn't know a thing about her. One thing Stephanie was right about is that she's privileged. She's, quote-unquote, sorry for the advantages she's had. But it says she's a star. She doesn't focus on the past. Unlike Stephanie Vacker, she sees how talented the champion is. She'll do something for Stephanie by giving her privilege of stepping into the ring with the greatest of Royal Rumble winner of all time, the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel champion, the Liv Morgan. Okay, that's fine. Moving on from that, this leads us into the original Grande Americano versus Rayo Americano. I don't give a shit about this. Grande Americano wins. German suplex roll up. I don't care. Moving on. This leads us into Penta. He has a vignette running down Dominik Mysterio, promising to make history tonight when he becomes the new IC champion, which he does. All right, moving on. This leads us into the Judgment Day. They're chatting backstage, whatever. They address Finn Balor losing at the Chamber before pivoting to Dominik Mysterio defending his title, as he wants to make sure they're going to be out there tonight. So Balor thought that Dom was going to do this on his own, and Dom claims that he wanted them to be there to celebrate him retaining the title. So, Liv confirms that they are a family with a hug. I don't care about any of this shit at all. I really don't. Moving on, this leads us into Rusev. He's standing on the announce table. He's pissed off. He wants to fight Oba, the Lion of Bulgaria versus the Nigerian ruler. So, Oba shows up. So, Oba stares down Rusev. Oba says that Rusev spent all this time talking. So then Rusev looks like he's about to fight Oba. He gets into the ring, not really. So he gets out of dodge. Oba and Rusev, they lock horns. They brawl for a brief moment. Oba hits a choke slam onto Rusev. And then next week, they're finally going to have their match, which is fine. Great. Good shit there. And I'm glad that Gunther and Dragon Lee had their match finally, right? Dragon Lee was beating up Gunther for about 2 or 3 weeks straight. And they finally had their match. So we're finally going to get Rusev and Oba Femi. That should be fun. That's going to be some cool ass shit there. I like that. But what are we going to do, Oba, for WrestleMania? What's he going to be doing, right? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Moving on. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, they're talking about WrestleMania, with Lyra suggesting that Bayley should challenge AJ Lee to get her ticket to WrestleMania. Bayley likes that idea, but she says they should both go to Adam Pearce to state their case. So they go to the gym. They go to his office, and Io Sky steps out, and then she stares down both of them, and then that was it. Okay, whatever. Moving on. This leads us into Jimmy Uso versus Austin Theory. The match is thrown out because Logan Paul gets involved. And the Vision, they jump Jimmy Uso only for a brief moment. Then Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, shows up. He's on crutches, and he beats up Logan Paul and Austin Theory with crutches. And then they hit the 1D on Austin Theory, and then the Usos stand tall. So, this is going to set up the Vision, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory versus the Usos for the tag team titles at WrestleMania. Who gives a shit about any of this? Moving on. Danhausen was on this show. So he says that he debuted to thunderous applause and cheers. He's got some Demandhausens. So he wants a blimp, a Hall of Fame induction for this year, a personal assistant, a personal camera boy, Triple H pointing photo in his face on the trucks. He gives Adam Pearce the list. Pearce wonder why it's soggy. It fell in the toilet. Oh my God. So then Finn Balor and Judgment Day, they show up. And basically Dom just mouths some words. And he basically curses Dom. So, and then that was it. I don't care about any of this shit. I really don't. Moving on, this leads us into Rhea Ripley. She's out on stage with Io Sky. So, Rhea says it's been a whirlwind a few days. Losing the women's tag team championships on SmackDown, that sucked. Rhea says Io Sky has been so many different things for her. She's been Rhea's opponent and her tag team partner. Most importantly, her best friend. Oh my God, what the fuck? Rhea then thanks Io for always supporting her and standing by her. So, basically, Io put over Rhea and told her, to go win, to win at WrestleMania 42. She's going to hold Monday Night Raw down. And then Rhea says she's going to be on SmackDown this Friday to confront Jade Cargill. Whatever, I don't give a shit about this. Moving on, wrestling main event of the evening. Penta defeats Dominik Mysterio to become the new IC champion. Yes, that was great. So Penta ended up hitting the Mexican driver and the Penta driver. Dom kicked out. Finn Balor and JD McDonough, they were out there. Dom wanted JD to bring in the ring bell hammer. Finn Balor told him, no, don't do it and everything. Penta ended up taking out the Judgment Day. And then Penta ended up winning, which was great. And he got a really good reaction when he won. So he hit the Mexican Destroyer for the 1-2-3. And he wins. Great stuff there. This makes perfect sense. Dom and Finn, to do their feud, they don't need the IC title involved, which makes perfect sense. Which we know this is just going to lead to Dom and JD kicking out Finn Balor from the Judgment Day, which is great. I would imagine Dom will probably also drop the AAA Mega Championship probably to Vikingo at some point, maybe. I don't know when that will happen. But I wouldn't be shocked if Finn Balor cost him that match as well, maybe. So, yeah, that should be interesting. But all in all, Monday Night Raw was boring as shit. I did like the CM Punk Roman Reigns promo. That was solid there. Penta winning the IC title, that was the right decision. The face-off between Rusev and Obafemi, that was great. Good stuff there. Everything else, I just didn't give a damn about. I really just didn't. It was just a bunch of boring, bland bullshit. But it is what it is. We got 7 weeks until WrestleMania. Hopefully things can pick up. But I highly doubt it. But what did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.